All right, it's an early one today. How have I done this? Hold on. Wait. How did you manage that? Goddamn moron! How the fuck is everybody? How are you, everybody? It's early. I like these better. In fact, from now on, if we do streams on weekends, I think they're gonna have to be early. It just feels better. And I'll crack a coffee. You guys can have a coffee. Plus, it's probably not morning where you guys are at, and you guys are probably sick of staying up till some ungodly hour to watch some asshole in Canada talk about plugins. You know? So today, may he rest in peace, the great Alexi Laiho. And going to talk about the man himself. Going to touch on my history as a fan of the band. And I would like to preface it by saying I don't know that I've ever been like Children of Bodom have never been in what I would call my top 5 or anything like that. I'm not going to stand here and pretend that I'm like the biggest fanboy and like, oh my God, they were my favorite band of all time. Not going to pretend. However, ever since the first time I heard them, I noticed, you know what I mean? And admittedly, I didn't really like his vocals on the first couple albums. I thought they were it was tough to figure out what he was saying because it kind of sounded a lot like wow, wow, wow. And you just couldn't really figure it out. But then all of a sudden, he just started to get better and better and better and better and better as a vocalist and a songwriter. And then all of a sudden, you could hear exactly, like, his pronunciation was perfect and everything was terrific. And that band, man, I had the opportunity to see that band live. I had the opportunity to see Children of Bodom. Have you seen Children of Bodom live? Good morning, Pedro. Good morning, Ton Guitarra. Nice to see you. We're going to be hanging out today talking about the man himself, Alexi Laiho, and going over some of the gear that I would use. For starters, some of the gear he's used. Let's go over and look at that first. And the place that we like to do that is a place called Equip Board. And if you've never been to Equip Board before, that is what this is. Equip Board. So real quick, you can just go to Equip Board and look up any piece of gear or any player or any band. Excuse me, cat hair inside the glasses. You can do that. And then it'll give you, but you have to be careful with this. We're going to teach you how to read Equip Board properly. And when I say that, I mean, it can be a little bit tough sometimes to read Equip Board. By the way, I've got some nice natural light coming. We have a snowstorm happening, bit of a blizzard outside. Gonna be sick. We're getting about 25 centimeters of snow today, or 20, 25. Could be more, could be less. We don't know. And we're gonna look at some of the gear here that he's used. But one thing you have to, just because you see something on this page does not for any reason mean that artist used it a lot. You have to go into the descriptions, and these are all noted as to, this is all gear that has either been seen, the player has either been seen playing it, or they owned it, or it's been seen in a picture of their gear collection even, but it'll tell you that in the description. So don't just see something and be like, yep, I knew it. I fucking knew it. That's what he used the whole time. And you'll just, no. Be like, you'll notice here. He did use the JVM for some time, but if I want to know more, I just click on it here and interview with Alexi Laiho's and guitar tech Antti Harma. Antti goes on to say that Alexi uses all stock bone stock version of the Marshall JVM 410 head. We do not have that really in plugin form. We kind of do. So we're going to go and grab that. We kind of do. We're going to be able to work that out. So we'll go to Bogren Digital. I've already loaded up some of the other options here, but I'm going to also load up the JVM as well. the JVH rather. That'll be this guy right here it's the one knob version. So, and if you know this amp, you'll know that there's a ton of different ways to set it up. So whether we get close or not with this we don't know that. Also, another important feature here, excuse me. Actually, you know what? We're just, before I hold this up, I'm going to give it a little bit of a wiping. And if you don't have one of these, you should get one. All right, I forgot to dust this off, although I was just playing it a couple of days ago. Anyways, this is the Alexi Laiho I think it's the ALX EMG pickup. Now, this thing is super unique, and it's part of the stream today. I reached out to EMG, and Tommy and I have been, Tommy's been a big supporter of what we do, big plug-in lover, and we traded some services, etc. Not traded services. He was nice enough to send me the pickup. So he sent me the pickup, and I was not expecting to like this pickup because I haven't generally really liked a lot of EMG's passive options. I understand they're trying, and some of them sound pretty, okay. The Jim Root set sounds pretty awesome, and there are a few other ones, and there was rumor for a while that James Hetfield was even going to get a passive set as well, but that never, as far as I know, that didn't happen. I don't know. Anyways, this is the pickup. I think I have the height right. We're gonna find out today, and why not get started with the easy way, without a whole lot of option necessary. But anyways, we're gonna go through this real quick. The JVM was a big deal in his setup for a time. The Engels Special Edition. And the special edition, if I'm not mistaken, the special edition is, let's go check this out. The special edition, is this not? I'm just looking it through here. I want to make sure. There's one amp from them that is supposed to be just a a head version of the E530. And I can't remember which one it is. But anyhow, he used this on EMG TV. Does that mean he used it live? Well, he's playing with the amp sitting in the background of the top of a Marshall cab. Take that for what it is. Let's not get too in depth. Now, one thing he did use a lot was the Lee Jackson Perfect Connection GP1000. That does not exist in the plugin world and might never. But as far as I've been told, he used it hate breeder to present, meaning hate breeder to present, when, who knows when that was written? No. Hate breeder to present. When was that written? Ultimate Metal, Heavy Forum. Either way, I don't know. He did get away from that unit after became tough to replace. So we're going to be talking a bit about that today. The only thing I can do for something like the Lee Jackson Perfect Connection GP1000 would be to either go and we're going to try a couple of different NAM captures of that rig. We're also going to go and look at, we're also going to check out some stuff that I think gets pretty close to the Lee Jackson, which would be something like the JMP1. So we're going to try using the JMP1 today. One thing you notice in here, he has no boost pedals. So if you're trying to get the Alexi Laiho sound, I don't see any boost pedals. None. He used the Tech 21 Sansamp PSA-1 for a short period of time as a backup. His main power for the Lee Jackson was a Fryette no, it's not Fryette, so I guess VHT if you want to call it, 252 stereo power amp. That was his main power for the Lee Jackson preamps as far as I could find. And I could only really find one cabinet the entire time. And that was this beauty right here, and that is a cabinet, one of the greatest cabinets ever created, and it's the inspiration for a million IR packs, the 1960B 412. And he predominantly used just a 57 or dual 57s on his cabinet, nothing too crazy. So this should be reasonably reasonably easy to figure out. Now, if you look at people that have used this particular cabinet, you'll notice there's 133 artists. Kurt Cobain, John Frusciante, David Gilmour, Billy Joe Armstrong, Tom Morello, Jerry Cantrell, Joe Satriani, Jeff Beck, Lemmy Kilmister, Buckethead, Randy Rhoads. Just look at all these fucking names. You can just keep going if you want to. Basically everyone used this cab. Everybody used this cabinet. It is a classic. I used this cabinet. Many people use this cabinet. As far as the very best IR pack we're going to find based on this particular cabinet, I don't really know what to suggest exactly because there are so many of them. So I'm just going to go to one that I know is really good if I can find it. I have a few different options here. And I don't have that one installed anymore or I don't have it on my computer anymore. Not installed at it. Okay, let's go to Red Wires. B2. Librairie. There it is, right there. So I have a choice of speakers here. I don't know which speakers Alex. Does anybody know which speaker Alexi Laiho used? We can ask AI. Which speakers did Alexi Laiho use? Either one. He used Celestion G12s and he also used V30s. So what we're going to do there is we're going to do a cheeky little mix of a 57 file of both. Okay, so I'm going to go in here. I'm going to find the 57. All right, I'm going to go in here and find the 57. You're wondering, are we really going to get this crazy? Yeah, we are. It's exactly what we're going to do. This is exactly what you need to do if you want a tone match. Tone match is, I love that people think, if I just buy the signature plugin, I can just do it. I'll have that. That's all I need. Signature plugins have all the tones that person uses. That's incorrect. And even in this case, he doesn't have a signature plugin yet. You might be thinking, what do you mean yet? He's passed away. Why would he get a signature plugin after passing away? I don't know. You could ask Dimebag if you'd like. He's passed away. He got a signature plugin after he had passed. There's a few guys. Jimi Hendrix, another guy. Hendrix, also signature plugin expansion after passing away. I think with Amplitude, was it? Lots of people that have passed away have signature gear. All right. So we're going to go here, and you might be thinking, wow, this is thrilling, dude. Can you like get to some actual guitar playing? No, we're going to make sure we get it nice and close here. We're going to get a V30 with an SM57. And we're going to put that again, probably maybe a little further away. We'll just start with these both here. This guy will go in the middle somewhere, and we'll just blend it as we go. All right, so I've got amp knob started out. I'm going to nuke the cab because I don't want it. And we're just going to see what we've got here. Let's see what we've got to start out. Okay. Nice. That's not so bad. But again, we haven't even really started yet. We'll get there. I don't need a pedal, apparently. There are two voices for the set as well, which is really cool. As for my learning of Children of Bodom riffs, I just didn't seem to have the time to learn a whole lot, but I'm going to tune it down to a very uncomfortable drop C. I hate playing in drop tunings because due to a hand injury many years ago, drop tunings are just kind of tough for me to do, just the barring. So I'm going to try my very best. Tuning with distortion and volume up. Rook. If you're, by the way, here's the one piece of advice I can give you. If you're a local band, I used to see these local bands show up and their parents had bought them all this expensive gear. And yet there was no tuner to be found. And then you'd be like, get a tuner, because otherwise you're standing on stage doing the old... That's not the way to go. I ended up liking this pickup a whole hell of a lot more than I thought. Now let's turn this up. That is very much Alexi Laiho. Very much an Alexi Laiho tone already. All right, cool. And if he didn't inspire you as a player, that's fine. I don't think I'm going to mess with that tuning. I think it's a bit low. Where are we at here? Might need a little bit of a neck adjustment as we go. Anyhow, this pickup really did surprise me, though. That being said, I'm not really with enough of a familiar setup. I want to hear the pickup with a plugin that I'm super familiar with first. So let's go to this guy right here. Alexi Laiho did use a 5150 for a short period of time. So I don't mind going to this and selecting the 1960B cabinet from in here. 1960, 412. We're going to get ourselves a nice close-up file. And then we're going to do that again over here. I'm actually going to leave the loader on. These are some, I always turn this loader off in streams, but I don't do it on purpose. I don't, it's not that it's, when I say that, rather, it's not a bad loader by any means. It's not and the impulse responses are terrific. I'm just trying to think of what I'd like to use. I'm going to try an off-axis file. All right. All right, that's better. Now let's get to some tone through this. This should sound okay. And the unique thing, there's several unique things about this this particular pickup. This pickup is a passive pickup, but it's got a heavy-duty preamp kind of attached to it. Now, inside the routing, there's also 3 dip switches on the right, kind of these teeny tiny little dip switches, and they give you factory ways that you can use them. This, I have it set right now. I didn't touch it. It's apparently the Alexi settings right now. It comes hardwired to the dip switch settings he uses himself, or he used rather himself. My mistake. And it gives you a really good idea of, it gives you a really good idea of different things you can do with the pickup. I played around with it just a tiny bit, and I noticed little things and bumps you can do with it, but it involves going into your guitar route. You have to take the control plate off and go work underneath and everything else. So if you're not comfortable doing something like that, there's also a booster, which is attached to only the one voicing. So there's a booster, and the booster itself, it adds a ton of gain. So if you wanted to just use the one, maybe even just the one voicing, and you can go in there and all you need is like a star screwdriver and just turn it all the way up or turn it close to all the way up. You can get this crazy amount of like, it's almost like there's a distortion pedal inside the guitar. It's pretty crazy. All right, so we're trying to get some Alexi Laiho tones here. And in doing that, this guitar is, again, it came around the corner and into a cold room, and I can tell this guitar is angry with me. All right, let's see what we got here. Now, I want to bring it up a little bit, so I'm going to bring this up a bit here instead. That sounds a bit weak right now, though. But then again, we're not trying to do too much. Oh, I'm noticing why that sounds weak. And just because I want to do it, I'm going to try just my own thing here. I'm going to use... Go like this, and we'll go like this. But just because I want to hear what just the pickup is giving me right now, I'm going to go ahead and switch it to my own impulse response just for just a moment. Oh, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you know what? Let's just use these for a sec. Interesting. I like it, but I don't at the same time. But then maybe it's just because it's outside of what I'm normally trying to dial in. But I did listen to a fair bit of Alexi's work and Children of Bodom's work last night, and listening, there are very different guitar tones throughout. I mean, you have to remember that he did, if I'm not mistaken, they did a couple albums, or at least one album, at the Abyss Studios with Peter from Hypocrisy and Pain. They did at least one or maybe two albums there, if I'm not mistaken. They also worked with Frederick Nordstrom at Studio Fredman. So I could be mistaken there, though, but I don't think so. So those are two very different humans that produce things two very different ways. So let's just take a little walk through this for a sec here. All right, let's take a quick walk through even just some of their more popular songs and listen to some of these tones. That to me sounds like Angle, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So we have that tone, and then you go straight to Needle 24/7. Different tone right away. Completely different tone. And then there's keyboard there, along with the guitar to make it sound... I just love when they do that. Agent Victor, how are you? Victor. Nice to see you. You probably hate when I do that. But anyways, we're listening to just going through even just the top skis here. Again, a very different tone. Fuck, I love these tunes, though. Let's listen to this one. Different tone. Does anybody know what pickup he used before, prior to having his own signature EMG? Does anybody happen to know that? I'm very curious myself. I don't think it notes. How's everybody doing? Thanks for the information, Ton. I appreciate you letting us know. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go to my favorites for a sec here. And I want to listen to just what this pickup is, or just what the pickup is giving me for a sec. I'm having a hell of a time getting this to stay in tune today. This guitar is usually great for it, even though I think I got this guitar for something like $100. I think it was under $100. It was like $80. It was an RG on my local marketplace, and it's a weird RG too. It's got like these actual textured lines that are routed right into the guitar, like CNC cut lines right through the body that are just like I said, like you can hear it. It's like this is a full on, and these are real screws and everything. It's not just like a decal. I did the paint myself though. My absolute wizardry with spray cans. Anyhow, hopefully everyone is having a very good day today. Super excited that it's Saturday. It's football Saturday. It's Mrs. Hazard's birthday today. And she is going to join us shortly after doing her picks, her football picks. She's going to come and join us and hang out and do some things and play some video games. So anyways, I wasn't having any luck with that. Here is what I think I'm going to have luck with right here, however. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to put together something again here and see what we've got. We're not having any luck, although I can't wait to go to those Lee Jackson captures. And I've got some news about NAMM Universal for everyone. I'm excited to be able to bring you guys some news finally on NAMM Universal and where it's going and what things are happening to it. Super excited to be able to do that, by the way. Okay. Just going to go nice and close and nice and close then and see what happens here. We are getting warm. Yeah. Very warm there. Again, this guitar is it's making me do some fucking work today. I have not even tried to set it up yet. Fantastic. I think we're going to get real warm with this. We're going to turn up a bit of the chorus because he also liked to use chorus in his tone from time to time. And I think we're going to get nice and close with this guy right here. Yep. Yep. Real close. I had to do one bit of just one bit of a maintenance to this guitar. Noticing something that I did wrong last time I worked on it. So sometimes you got to make little fix-ins, and sometimes you got to fix little mistakes. Egads, making a mistake. And what I did in this particular mistake was I brought the Floyd down a little bit too much in an attempt to get the action just too low. and it's buzzing out a little bit. So we're going to do that. And the high string looks just fine. So we'll retune and we'll be back at her. Anyhow, what does Saturday mean for you today? What are you guys up to? I'm curious. I don't even think we have any. We don't have a single American in the window right now. I don't think there's a single American. We 5 people and Johnny Cecil. Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone today. Again, my name is Tyler. Again, I just cannot get that D to stay in. And it was handy that I actually put the pickup in a guitar that was already tuned to D. But I didn't replace the strings when I did it because the strings on it were already quite new. But I realize now that I probably should have done, I just should have just done that. There's no boost on this at all right now, I want to point out. It sounds terrific. To me, to my ears. Let me know what you guys think. This is the, I'm just debut on the channel. I'll hold it up. This guitar is not as clean as it should be, but that's what it looks like. It's, it also comes in red, as you guys are well aware, in Delaware. Go check it out. Thanks to Tommy DMG. I really appreciate you, buddy. So let's just continue. This is about as close. Would you agree this is as close as we've gotten so far? Let me know in the comments. Really? You're still beaking me? All right, I can tune down again. I'm going to try tuning down and play that riff. This is really the only riff I worked on. I felt bad. Damn it. Damn, I missed that. Whoop, whoop. No, I'm not even going to bother trying today. We're just going to play my... This is what happens. I don't ever want to play a cover poorly, especially in a product demo. I'll just make up riffs that kind of maybe sound a little bit in that direction. How was that? This is pretty damn good. Chacho. There are many Toms in the world. There are many Jeffs as well. But I am Chacho. Whenever I read your name, dude, that makes me think of that scene in that movie. There's no boost on this at all. Is Beef House. I realize it's pretty bright, but then again, his tone is pretty bright. I'm just gonna say it right now. So far, the winner for the Alexi Laiho tone is gonna be the Mercurial Audio Tube Amp Ultra 530, aka the U530. This thing is awesome. It has been for 10 plus years. We had it in the stream last night. We got to use this plugin about 10 years ago. And it's awesome. If you had the opportunity to use this 10 years ago, you were flying high, and you still could be. Go and grab it today. Now, we're going to hang out, and we're going to go over, and we're going to use this NAMM Universal. We're going to try this pack. I'm interested. I'm getting charged up for it. I hope that these two packs, I was under the impression there was only one pack, but there are actually a few different packs based on the Lee Jackson. And what? Was that two pack? Two pack? Lee Jackson GP, and there are two that are seemingly almost the same. And then there's a Valentine's collection, and what I'm going to start with, wow, it actually is the Alexi Laiho. His name is on the files. So thanks to Northern Fox, a.k.a. Danime. I don't know this user, but thank you to the user for taking the time to put these out there for free. And you can go and get those for free as well. So we're actually going to use that right now. Like last time, we forgot to do that. That kind of ruined a stream for us. I was not happy about it. I'm going to use my own IRs for this one. I don't have a 1960B, so I'm just going to use the EGA, and it's just going to be good enough for now. All right. Ears, folks. Okay. It's still a little bit low. Did you guys ever hear this cover? Children of Bodom, you gotta give them credit for being funny dudes, man. They have some funny covers. Fuck yeah. All right. Oop, I turned off my space. That sounds pretty darn good, it does. I'm boosting it, but kind of not boosting it, but I'm kind of boosting it, but I'm maybe boosting it, but I'm not quite boosting it. This will be it by itself, and I find that's a bit dark. So instead of, let's see if we can find something a bit brighter. Like that, for example. And this is the Alexi Laiho file that you can get from ToneHub. Let's go to Tone Hub and I'll show you. Wow, I'm such a moron. Hit the button, you fucking idiot. So all you have to do is hit the Tone Hunt button. It'll take you to Tone 3000. And then you go in here and you type in Lee Jackson. So far, the best way to get Alexi Laiho's tone is to buy the pickup and then go right here and get this is it right here. Right here. The Lee Jackson 1988 GP 1000 plus VHT 2902 pre-end pre-power amp best. Anyways, this model modded by Lee Jackson himself in 2020 for more gains similar to Alexi Laiho's. So the one that this user captured was actually modified by Lee Jackson. There's nothing to confirm that, but nonetheless, I can't see why. Well, there have been users that have lied before on here, trust me. But this, if I'm not mistaken, this creator here is really tied into the whole like NAMM community. So I would totally trust the Northern Fox is telling the truth in this. As all the creators that are kind of like heavily involved with the NAMM community are pretty legit. Otherwise, you know, people can get exposed for that stuff too, though. You know, these days, if somebody really overanalyzes something. But then again, if you're one of those people that bitches about getting something for free, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think you should do that. All right. So, go and get this. This is what we're using right now. And you can get that through the Tone Hunt button right on our plugin. By the way, NAMM Universal, within, I would say about a month, is going to get a good old, is going to get some interesting things happening. We're going to turn on the aggravator down here and turn up the sparkle. That sounds delicious to me. That sounds delicious too. Oh, that's out of tune. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? Is this an angle? The one I'm using right now? No, but you mean U530? Yes, that was an angle. That was based on the E530 from Angle. There are a number of plugins out there, and there are a number of captures out there based on that mofo. That unit, of course, I do believe used by Alexi Laiho at some point, if even for live use. I'd be shocked, absolutely shocked, if he didn't use that at some point. Actually, when we saw them, and Amon Amarth opened. Didn't they open? Yeah, they opened. Sabaton too, right? Yeah. We're gonna vote him first too, right? We'll play the second show. Okay. Never mind. That was complete bullshit. Who was on that show then? Oh, that was Hate. For the black metal band. We're just talking about some shows we saw, and that just imagined it in my mind because it was at the same venue within a reasonably close period of time. We saw Sabaton and Amon Amarth, and we also saw Hate and somebody fucking else. Who? It wasn't just them two, though. There was another band. Fuck. I'm sorry, but I was a concert promoter for a really long time, and there are a lot of shows that blend. I have people still to this day. I actually had a parent. As mentioned, I work in education. I had a new parent at one of the schools that I work at, was like, "Hey, you remember me?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, totally." And I do recognize the face. He was obviously much younger, and he's just like, "You're the guy you used to put on concerts, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, you've got a good memory. That was like 20 years ago." And the guy's like, "Do you remember this one show and this?" And I was like, "Nope." There are entire shows that I booked and promoted that I had no idea. I just don't remember them. That's weird. Just too much work. This tone is jet. I'm really excited about this tone, by the way. Let's check out Bright. I want to add some twang. Just allow me to add some twang here. Nope. Not that much twang. Calm down. Nope. That is not going to handle that. It's nope, man. More nope on that. And he admitted at some point that like his tone idols were guys like Dave Mustaine. There's a bunch. I had three of them on the tip of my tongue there. Dave Mustaine was definitely. Chuck Schuldiner was another one of his idols, and you start to thinking there's some similarities in some of these tones. He was also a big fan of Dime, if I'm not mistaken. But one thing about him is that he was also a huge hair metal guy. Huge hair metal guy. Loved himself some like Poison and loved all kinds of those old hair metal bands. That's what gave him that hair metal style of playing metal. There's a lot of melody, and you know when you fuse, obviously there's a lot of traditional Finnish influence and you know Scandinavian and Nordic influence in some of the playing. You can hear a lot of those folky scales and things of that sort. Then you can also hear extreme influence from stuff like, you know, players like even CeCe DeVille and Warren DeMartini, as I believe how he pronounces it, but I'm not sure. And you can hear like that influence not only in his gear and his tone but also his playing and everything else, right? All the bar drops and stuff. Those bar drops all originated in the 80s. Dudes were standing on their fucking whammy bars in the 80s. If you were a lead guitar player in the 80s and you didn't have a Floyd in your guitar, nobody wanted to know who you were. Sure, you're going to tell me there was a few. Yes, there were a few that didn't have it, but most of those guys, you name it, all of those guys had a Floyd and used it in those. That was the thing, right? That was the thing. How's it going, everybody? Wano, nice to see you. Johnny Cecil, also, as I mentioned, nice to see you. Guys, fire some stuff at me. NAMM captures are always one of the best tones. Yeah, it always seems to be, right? Very interesting. Always seems to be that way. And it really depends on the capture, though. It really depends on the capture. Super, super, super important that the capture is really, really good. If the capture sucks, then it's going to suck. I'm very impressed with this pickup. Like, listen to that. And he didn't use a boost. I'm sort of cheating and using a bit of a boost, so without it, it sounds like this. Actually sounds better without the boost. Let's try adding a pedal for fun. Let's just try adding a pedal. We have some here. We don't really need to go and download anything. We've got all kinds of fun pedals here. I do like Tim R. He's got, no, it's not Tim R's that I like the best. It was Pip had the best ones. My bad. Pip has the best ones in here. Check out, I usually just use the 808X, but there's several files you can use. Let's just see what we can do with this. This sounds terrific. So what this would be, if we were looking at the actual gear in front of us, this would be a Maxon 808 on the floor. It would be going into a Lee Jackson GP1000 modified. Then that would be going into a VHT 2902. or I believe it was at some point called the 5250 or something like that. And then it would be going into, in this case, a cabinet that admittedly Alexi did not use, which is an angle 412. But right now, I think that has, it's sounding pretty good. So let's just not mess with it too much here. I can't get that riff in that form. I want to know that everyone is having a good day today. It's nice to see everybody always getting along in the chat here. 7 people in the house. Say hi. My name is Tyler. And we are showing you different ways to get the Alexi Laiho tone. Laiho. Whenever I speak a Finnish name, I've always got to say it with a Finnish accent. It's just how it's been drilled into my soul, how I grew up. Then you watch enough of the Dudesons, and you can really get how it's supposed to be. And you can ask the wife here, when it comes to pronouncing Finnish names, I can almost always get them bang fucking on. Whatever, shut up. No, I'm not gonna be okay. No, I don't like that one. Ooh. This is a pretty mean tone, folks. We're gonna have trouble getting anything better than this, I think. But what I will say is there's another paid way that I'd like to try first before admitting defeat. We're admitting that at least this is the better way. I'm going to take a quick break before I do that. When we come back, I'm going to go over a couple of options that I think that are off the beaten path here, but I think might still get us some pretty mean Children of Bodom type tones for various eras. We have the, believe it or not, the HK Pure tone in the house from Nembrini Audio. We have the Solidus VS8100 from Audiority, one of my favorite plugins ever made. This, I think, will get you also reasonably in the ballpark. And as we've been saying for a good while now, every time I fire this up, I feel like this is also pretty much aces for getting a C.O.B tone inside one box without having to worry too much. Okay, so just give me about 2 or 3 minutes here. I'm going to come back at you, and we're going to hang out some more, talk a little bit more about the man himself, the band itself, and we're going to be here for a little bit today, and then the missus and I are going to go do football things. It should be fun today. It should be fun indeed. Sounds good. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. Like and subscribe as always. Please do. If you don't want to subscribe and you need to be more entertained, no problem. We understand. I'm not going to give you slack about not subscribing, but if we are entertaining you, please do give us, hammer us a sub. All right, folks, give me one moment.
Be not proud, though some have called thee mighty and dreadful. Thou art not so.
All right. I have to say, I'm going to make a bold claim right now. Right here. This is my favorite EMG pickup. I haven't used an EMG pickup that blew me away like this one does. This pickup really... I went into this thinking I was not going to like this pickup and it was going to be a short pass through and that I'd feel guilty and just send it right back to EMG and be like, I'm sorry, I didn't like it. But as soon as I played like 3 notes on it, I turned to the missus and I think within an hour span of trying this pickup, I turned to my wife and said, holy shit. I'm absolutely shocked as to how good this pickup is at being really awesome. So let's check out the JMP Pro now. This is kind of the plugin that this is the one I always think that is going to give me that Alexi Laiho tone in a box. And I feel like it can do it. I can feel like it can do it. We're going to try it with these 2 cabs, although they are not the cabs that I'm really looking for. I'm not really looking for those. So I might just end up going to my own, but we'll see. Good morning, everybody, by the way. What do you guys think of this time slot? Let me know in the comments. Please do. I think this is going to be the way it's going to work. It's going to be, if there are streams on weekends from now on, they're going to be in the morning. That is such a weird effect to have on your default tone. Okay. Hang on. Deedle 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 deed. I need the gain all the way. All the way. Yeah. Let's hear that one tone again to start there. Nope. We're pretty close. Oh boy, we're pretty close on this, folks. This is real close. I'm going to use another 57. No, I'm going to use a 420. Let's see. Hold on. We are close. This is the Nembrini Audio JMP Pro based on one of my very favorite pieces of gear of all time. That is the Marshall JMP1, which was essentially Marshall and a bunch of other companies at one point went all and did these little one-space racks. Marshall did one, ADA did one, obviously Lee Jackson did one, but this was more or less Marshall's way of putting a JMP in a little box or a couple of different Marshall amps inside one box. That was kind of just the way that it went. And then with Mesa Boogie, it was putting a bunch of Mark amps in a box and calling it a tri-axis. And that was another way that all of those pieces of gear, the ADA MP1, the tri-axis, and the JMP1 have all been done by Nembrini Audio. And it's fucking awesome. Go and check all of these out. 100% check all of these out. Wow. Holy smokes, this sounds good. Really good. This sounds really good. Really, really good. I can turn this. Yeah, easily my favorite new EMG pickup by a country mile. And if you've never walked a country mile, you don't know how far that is. I have. It's far. It's far and it's not a lot of fun. And I do love, I also do want to point out that I did the 18 volt modification to this, which they have right in the manual, which is pretty cool. They put it right in the installation guide for you on this one, which is awesome. They're able to do that. I don't know if they do it with the original 81 and the 85, the non-X versions, but let's go and check this out real quick because I feel like we should do this. EMG ALX. So I need this ALX set. Oh, that's right. It talks about the set, not as in two pickups. It might be a little confusing. Let's just go over this real quick. I really do want to talk about this as well. Price is $169. I think that's Canadian. Or is that American? I don't know if that's Canadian or American. The Alexi Laiho signature model features a uniquely designed EMG passive humbucker that includes our ABQ EQ boost. The custom designed APQ has a 3-band EQ, which that's the dip switches I was talking about, that can be adjusted for creating different tone settings using a push-pull control to activate or deactivate. In addition, the preamp output can be adjusted to add or reduce gain into your guitar signal. This pickup and preamp combo meets Alexi's demands for high gain, versatility, and clarity. Don't really have to use. I haven't used much of a boost during this stream at all, and this pickup is just so fucking tight. It's shocking to me that there is not a 7-string version of this pickup. It's crazy. I don't understand how EMG is not marketing the shit out of this pickup, because I think there are a lot of players right now that would really, really like it if they gave this a shot. But sometimes when a pickup is very tightly tied to a guitar player that had a certain sound that played in a certain tuning, immediately people are going to be, well, can it handle lower tunings? Can it handle this? Is it just going to be good for that guy's sound? No. Yes. It can handle low tunings. I'm only in D, but Alexi Laiho himself played in C, so it can handle lower than low, and it keeps C really tight. I imagine it would probably hold up with something lower, so why not do a 7-string version of this pickup, or an 8-string version of this pickup, or another signature slightly altered version of this pickup? Do more with this instead of other. I'm not saying that EMG doesn't constantly do cool shit, but this pickup I think is one of the most underrated pickups in all of heavy music right now. I don't even know how many people we can find that use this pickup. Let's find, I don't know how many people even use this other than him. One artist on Equipboard. One dude uses it, and it's just Alexi Laiho. This has not been tied to any other players, which to me is fucking insane. It's absolutely insane. This pickup sounds so good. Listen to it. That's not boosted at all. If I wanted to boost it, I could get even tighter. And turn it off. Wow. I'm actually taken aback by the fact that this pickup it's just, it was, I would say I'm more shocked that I love this so much. And I'm also super, like, I'm more shocked that I like this than any other piece of gear that I think I've ever tried. There's so many pieces of gear over the years that I've tried that I just, going in, I thought I'm not going to like, I really don't think I'm going to like this very much. And more often than not, I don't like it very much. And that was the case for a whole bunch of Fishman sets. I would try another Fishman set and just be like, oh, the same sound, the same kind of thing. But then I tried the Mick Thompson set, and I went into that as well thinking, I am not going to like this set, am I? And I was completely bamboozled by that one. I'm even more bamboozled by this. So if I can be completely wrong on this pickup, I actually would never really speak on it. I've had people ask me in the past, have you tried that pickup? No, I haven't tried it. I haven't had a lot of interest in it, whatever. But someone asked in a stream about a month ago and said you should do a C.O.B stream. And I don't remember who it was now. And then I said, yeah, I should. That gives me a reason to try that pickup. And I haven't asked anything from EMG in a good while. So I said, I figured why not? And he sent it up. And I was just shocked in every way, shape, and form. Completely shocked at how much I like this pickup. And also equally shocked by... Sorry, I thought they were going to park in that lot. That would not be a good idea. Anyways, sorry. We're just looking at the snow and people doing odd things in the snow. I'm equally shocked that no other artists at all use this thing. None. Nobody that we can find. I'm gonna turn this. Nobody that we know of uses this set or uses this pickup. It's crazy to me. It's madness. I'm going to put it in at least one more guitar. Don't know which guitar, but I'm going to put it in at least one more because I really, really like it. So tight. And I'm really interested in playing around with the internal dip switches after and maybe seeing if I can find something a little bit more me. Although I really do like exactly where Alexi Laiho has them set. And as mentioned, the difference between the two voicings is subtle, but at the same time noticeable. So check it out. Voice 2. So yeah, and I haven't even really put this through anything like high gain and crushing just yet. But man, I'm having such a great time. This is going to win right here. There's 3 ways I think you can get some really great Children of Bodom sound with just plugins. This pickup does start the battle because it is a very unique sounding pickup. And when there's a unique sounding pickup involved, much like achieving a Slayer tone or an Unearthed tone or kill switch tone. Now let's not go as far as kill switch because they've used a lot of different stuff, but guitar players that are hardwired into one very unique sounding pickup, if you want their tone, I'm sorry, but this is one of those times where you might just have to go out and buy that pickup. If you love that tone enough, you might have to go out and buy that pickup. But that being said, in this case, there are a lot of different ways that you can go at it. But I'm going to say the best so far, for no money at all, you can go with the NAMM Universal plugin or just any NAMM plugin. Doesn't really matter. I would suggest NAMM Universal because it has all the other options on it, but it really doesn't matter. Any NAMM player will do. Go and head over to Tone 3000, grab that pack from Northern Fox, and you are on your way for free. You can just literally load the files that say Alexi Laiho on them. That's all you did. Now it's all you need to do. That's so easy. And if you want to do it with some money, I would say there are 2 pretty darn good ways to do it. So far, the JMP Pro here from Nembrini Audio is just really making a case for itself. This is when it comes to the Lee Jackson and the JMP, Marshall JMP1 are fundamentally and schematically, I don't know how different they really are, because if I'm not entirely mistaken, the Lee Jackson stuff was loosely based on Marshall stuff. I don't know. Bo's not here. Bo is here. Ah, say his name and he appears. I believe in Bo Davy. Anyways, Bo, is what I said complete bullshit, or is that barking up the correct tree? Is that Lee Jackson GP 1000 is Marshall preamp-ish? Who is this dude? Anyways, hold on. Guys, what do the tone stack... Hold on. Guys, what does the tone stack on an amp? I played with the Legion yesterday, and the tone stack makes you wonder. The tone stack can be loosely... Bo's got it. I'm going to read through what Bo says here. My best guess, the tone stack switch shifts the parameters of the tone stack from something traditional to something more modern. I'd have to play with it more myself. Yeah, what the tone stack does, for example, right here, if you look in NAMM Universal, I'm going to leave this up to Bo because he's way smarter. But if you look, the instigator here is actually what we call we're going to be calling it in the new version. It is going to be a pedal, probably in pedal form. It might be in pedal form rather than rack form. You'll have to see. Just bear with me on that. But what this is a tone stack, and if I'm not completely mistaken, a Mesa style tone stack? Question mark, Bo? But the tone stack in different amps is going to mean different things. But I mean, Bo gave you a pretty good general explanation there. The Legion, man, Bo, we had some fun with the Legion yesterday. That is a fucking 20-year-old amp sim. And we were crushing with it yesterday with a $9.99 IR pack. Smash. Actually, with a free IR pack for a bit there, too. Been a while since I used Legion, honestly. Yeah, me too. I used it yesterday. It was crushing. Kyle Hunter, nice to see you. Whoop that trick. That was a pretty good debut. It was a pretty good debut. He got humbled, then he came in and did some fucking hard work, and the dude looked jacked. So fucking jacked. I swear to God, that dude is just like a big, giant man. And that dude is in good shape. I've been waiting. I really am excited that that Trick Williams has found his way in to the WWE. I think he's gonna do. I love that they're rolling him out as a heel right away. That's terrific. And if you're like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? We're talking about wrestling. And if you're like, why are we talking about wrestling? Well, welcome to go find a page that doesn't talk about wrestling. But nonetheless, we won't talk about it too much today. This is going to be it, though. I'm going to try a couple of different cabinets in here. That would be a good thing if you were doing a quad track. Just use this exact same tone with this on one side and this on the other. And then just quad 2 of each. Done. OD1. OD2. OD2 is the magic. No boost. This pickup just doesn't require a boost, it seems, but I'm going to use one occasionally anyways, with some, maybe keep the settings kind of chilled. Nah, you know what? I'm going to try without it. Yeah, man, he doesn't use a boost, and I can see why. If you put this together with like a really tight preamp, like an Angle E530 or like the Lee Jackson and others, it's a really tight sounding amps. It's like the JVM, another amp that's super, super tight. He used the 5150 on one album, but I would imagine that was really, really well harnessed by the producer, and there was some magic to make that happen. I don't believe he ever used one live. And when you worked at, I believe it was at Studio Fredman, because when you work at Studio Fredman, you're using a 5150, whether you like it or not, apparently, from as far as myth and legend goes. You roll in with your gear and he shows you his wall of 5150s, and you end up being like, I'm going to use a 5150, I guess. Much like rolling into Peter's Abyss. As far as I was understand, there's a very particular guitar sound there as well. So when you work at certain studios, you have to walk in assuming, at least halfway assuming, that at some point they're going to throw your gear out and bring their own gear when you're working with really influential producers. As a smaller band, a lot of times, I'm not sure exactly when they worked with each producer, but I'm not saying they were a smaller band, but when they were lesser known in the early days and they worked with, I think that's when they worked with Peter. Maybe. Anyways, Lee Jackson preamps started more as Fender style preamps, but he started modding them to be more Marshall-like. And he knows more, but I'm pretty sure Alexi used one that was Marshall-esque as far as I know. Yeah, that's why the JMP Pro here does such a good job. Great debut, man. Trick is absolute money. Yeah, you know what? I was kind of shocked that Obafemi defended his belt there on NXT the other day. I was a little shocked. I thought he was... And well, I was more shocked when he won. I thought they were going to take that moment to have him lose the belt and leave. I like that they didn't even give Joe Hendry a belt in NXT. They're like, you're not going to be here long enough, kid. just don't worry about it. Instigator is basically the tone stack stage of a Mark style amp. The shift is the treble shift on a Mark amp, which adds the extra. Yep. I think 100. Oh boy, that could be a problem. I might have to go knock on a door. All right, I think we're all up to 10 people in the house. Hi, how's it going? We're here. It's the Mrs.'s birthday today. She's getting in some morning gaming time. Looks like she's playing Sniper Elite 5, 6, 7. Sniper Elite, the Resistance. The game that I like to make fun of and call Shadow Man, because it could be like you could be standing in an open field, and there's somehow like you have this weird shadow that's sort of this aura, this black aura that looks sort of surrounds you in this game. It looks kind of funny, but the game itself is pretty rad. She's been playing these games for years. I think you've been playing these games since pretty much I met you. Yeah. And we've been together for almost 15 years. And she's been playing these games a long time. And she's good at them, too. You know what? I love sniping in games, but for some reason, these games never, like, really fully grabbed me, the Sniper Elite games. I don't know. Bring a little more level. Wow, this pickup sounds so good. I challenge you, if you're out there and you happen to be watching this and you're one of like the eventual 200 maybe people that'll watch this perpetually, give this pickup a chance the next time you're maybe considering a bridge pickup swap. I don't know what it would pair with as far as, excuse me, I don't know what it would pair well with as far as the neck goes, though. He's never used a neck pickup himself, so I'm not really 100% sure which neck pickup would pair well with the Alexi bridge. I am not 100% sure. That is just so fun. A little bit heavier maybe on the presence. Yeah. Oops. Man, still there's no boost here. You know what I realized isn't on Spotify? The Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee by Extreme / Nuno Betancourt. Have you guys ever heard that? If there's someone in here that has not heard that, it'll blow your fucking mind. Yeah, I hear the excuse all the time. Well, he's using delay. It's cheating. It's not, because the way he's using delay is incredibly challenging. If you haven't heard it, I'm actually kind of bummed out that it doesn't exist. And I don't want to go. I might have to go and I might have to get the MP3. We might have to get the MP3 out. I don't want to do that, though. I don't really want to do it. No. Not even going to bother. Just go and listen to it. Nuno Betancourt. No, just go Extreme Flight of the Wounded Bumblebee, type it right up here, and just go and watch it. You can watch him play it. He also plays it perfectly, even at his current age. And you might be thinking, well, he's only 60. I think he's in his 60s, late 50s for sure. Got to be late 50s, early 60s for certain. And yeah, he can still play it perfectly. And what happens when you get old is that arthritis attacks anything that you've used a lot in your lifetime. Arthritis attacks that first. You a runner? Goodbye hips and knees, ankles. You're a guitar player? Nah, fuck your hands. That kind of thing. So for him to be able to still pull that shit off at his current age, level of experience, is really impressive to me. Yngwie Malmsteen too. Say whatever you want about Yngwie. Old Yngwie, say what you want about that dude, but he still rips the shit out of his old stuff, and he's not a spring chicken. Still wears the clothes that he wore when he was 20, but Reed Smasher is really good. For me, the 808 or that. Yeah, man, there's lots of fun pedals. Nuno is a beast. I agree. The fact that he never actually played with Ozzy, even though there was like all those rumors and all the things that could have happened, would have happened, should have happened, I would really feel that there's some guys that I would have loved to have seen play with Ozzy. Nuno Betancourt is one. Another guy is George Lynch. I would have loved... Oh my God, I would have loved to see George Lynch perform the Ozzy Osbourne material. God damn, that would have been cool. That would have been cool as shit. All right, we're going to get past the JMP Pro, although I don't really want to entirely. I had the Cali Axis in here as well, and I think if you have this, you could probably make some Children of Bodom type sounds, although he did not at any point ever use the Tri-Axis or the the Tri-Axis or any of the Mark series of amps as far as his equip board says anyhow. But one I do want a couple of oddballs I do want to get to. One is the Solidus here, and the other one is the HK Pure Tone. Let's go to the HK first, because I feel like for whatever reason I scrolled past this and said, brother, I think you could actually get involved here. This is a plugin I don't use a lot, admittedly, and it's not a plugin I even really recommend all that often. It's sort of just, it's just an odd bird. It's an odd duck of a plugin. And you might dig it, you might not. It's extraordinarily bright, like one of the brightest plugins ever. Let's see what we have here. Oh no, I know what's happening here. There's a bunch of effects on. All the effects need to be on for the default preset, huh? That's just super weird. Okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Yep. Okay. Hang on then. Yeah, this is another pickup, or rather another plugin that is going to do just fine for that Children of Bodom sound. I think you're going to be able to do just fine with this bad guy right here. No boosts necessary. And if you listen to Alexi Laiho's tone on records or even live, there's not as much gain happening there as you might think during the rhythm portions. Not a ton. It's mostly this pickup. It really is. It's a lot. This pickup is doing a lot of the heavy lifting. In some signature tones, their pickup is really irrelevant. But in this particular situation, and by the way, I'm not being paid by EMG or anything like that. You guys, anybody that knows me knows I'm not going to go over the hump and tell you guys I love something this much when I don't actually really enjoy it. I find this pickup incredible. And I also find it completely necessary when it comes to getting the C.O.B/Alexi tone. This pickup is a big deal. It really is a big portion of it. Much like I said with Slayer, you're really going to need that EMG 81. You're really going to need certain things to get certain tones. And however, in some situations, you've seen it on this channel in the past where we didn't have that pickup and we could still get there. And I think you can still get there without this pickup, but this pickup certainly doesn't fucking hurt. As far as other pickups that you might be able to do it with, I think you might be able to get there with something like maybe a Nazgul. That might be able to get you there. There's a really interesting midsection in this pickup. You might get close to something like a Bill Lawrence, a Bill Lawrence L500 XL, maybe a Dimebucker, maybe, I don't know. There are going to be options out there. But when it comes to just EMG, if you're going to go after the Alexi tone with just an EMG 81, probably not going to work as well. This pickup sounds nothing at all like any other EMG pickup that I've tried. And I have tried fucking all of them. Literally, I have tried every humbucker they have more than once, and this sounds nothing like anything this company has available currently. Nothing. Not a damn thing. So I would strongly advise, if you're looking for a unique sound, this is it. The Alexi Laiho EMG ALX set. It took me about 14 seconds to install this thing. It was ridiculous how quick it went in. It's quick connect. You don't have to solder a damn thing, unless, depending on whether or not you might have to solder something when it comes to the jack, depending on what wires it'll go through in certain spots. But for the most part, you probably shouldn't have to do a whole hell of a lot of soldering and quick connect. This pickup went in like so quickly, and I was jamming on it in almost no time. So again, I can firmly say that, yes, go and check it out. This plugin is another plugin I'm going to say I'm going to wheel down the bass a little bit. Yeah, this is another This is another plugin rather that I think gets that. Yeah, this is another plugin for sure that can get you there, but maybe not going to be your first choice. But if you say you bought this and maybe you're not using it a whole lot and you're like, oh shit, that gives me another use for that plugin. I haven't really checked it out in a while. I know this plugin came out to mixed reviews. There's a couple of YouTubers that did not really like it. There's a few creators I sent it to that really didn't like it. And however, on the other side of it, there's a guitar player like Ed Garcia from the band Vitalism that absolutely loved this plugin and did so much content with it. I was rather shocked that he liked it as much as he did. But some people just like what they like. And this is one of those birds that I think it came out and everyone's like, oh, it's just for like, you know, classic rock and stuff. But really, I mean, there is a boost pedal. There's an overdrive. There's also this nice tight and harsh filter, which are essentially, you can get some really nice kind of tightened up tones with it. If you want to do that, like this, check it out. This is so without. Then we get jumping in again. That's a bit too much, so we're going to crank up the harsh, and we're going to turn back the tight. Nope, a little too much. Meet in the middle there. It's still a little bit harsh, but we can easily go into the treble and wheel that back a bit. Still not really where I want, a bit ice picky. That's sounding pretty good. You could probably get a pretty decent gent tone out of this if you really wanted to, especially if you're quad tracking. I think this is way more versatile than some folks might think it might be. So if this is ever insanely on sale and you're fixing to get yourself something a bit different that sounds pretty neat for... it's kind of a one-trick pony. It's not the most versatile of all plugins. Also, it's nice for leads though. Straight up. It's fun for leads. There's some really nice lead tones with the EQ, the spring verb, tape delay. So check it out. It was one of, I think, 3 different plugins that in a collaboration between Nembrini and Hughes and Kettner before the sale with to Thoman. I think Thoman bought Hughes and Kettner or something like that. So yeah, there's that. There's 3 plugins. There was 2 amp sims and some sort of rotary effect that I never actually did get to. All right. Yes, it's a passive pickup. It's a passive pickup, but I've got 2 batteries on it. That's funny, eh? Because even EMG, a lot of EMGs, they call them the retroactive series. The retroactive series is a series that is designed to be passive, but it still requires a battery for the preamps. But then there's the, what's the guy's name? Do I still have it open? I do. I'll show you right now the sets. There's a couple of interesting sets here. Signature sets. Okay, wow, what's that? Neat. Check out the finish on these. That's neat. You see that? That looks good. I don't need that because I've already got the other Gary Holt. I think this is just signature pickup set 8189. I have his bridge pickup in a red. You guys have seen it in my Slayer Strat. Slayer Sleeper Strat. Ooh, who's that? The Glenn Tipton set. Those look sharp. Oh, thanks. So you want to see the picture? We'll show it to you, but just the same size. I like the red logos on it. When it comes to signature sets, though, I don't think these are tweaked all that much. I don't know how much these are actually tweaked from the original 81s and 85s. This set right here. Prashanta Swani, that's his name. This set here requires It's weird. It's quick connect, and even for the one solder point, they give you this thing that's like a joiner. It's really interesting. But this one required no batteries. These are none. No, zero batteries. None. None. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Nada. This is the only set of EMGs that, apart from the H series, or the, what do they call them? This set doesn't need a battery either, I don't think. The Lars Fredriksson Dirty Middle Finger set, I don't think. No, it does. You can see it there. My mistake. So this one also needs... Well, hang on a second. Yeah, so this one does not. It doesn't show any of the... It just shows it comes with what it comes with. This set sounds really good. Really good. But I don't think these... I don't think all these sets get, like... I haven't even seen a demo based on the Lars Fredriksson set. I haven't seen anything about that. I have not tried that set. I also haven't tried the Marty Friedman set. I'd be very interested to try these too. Alnico 5 magnets. I don't know if I'd like this set as much. If anybody's tried any of these sets, anybody in the chat has tried any of these sets, do let me know. I'd be interested to just hear about them. I like listening to stuff like that. But this is the one that I'm currently using, as mentioned several times so far. It gives you all the stuff you need. It's a super fast install. And you can also get it in red and with gold. Gold! That's pretty cool. Any hoozles. And the installation just was like so fast. I tried this set. It's also quite nice. Super, super nice sounding set. But this one, if you'll notice, is a bit different. They have this weird open coil. They have a like nice open coil look, but then it's all just the same shit. Like it's, no, not the same shit. But this is a nice sounding set as well. Longtime user EMG 160 combo, and it's sort of a more passive hybrid. So I suggest trying that set as well. But if I had to choose between the JR Daemonum set, if I had to choose between the JR set and the Mick Thompson set, the Mick Thompson set smashes the ever-living shit out of the Jim Root set. That's just me. There's also the Kerry Fulkin King set that sends along with you. Doesn't even explain it, does it? And it's also comes with this little fella here. If you notice, it comes with this thing here. And that is the... What is that called again? Can't remember what it comes. What it called? With that, the PA2 booster? Is that what it's called? Something along those lines. I have it installed in the guitar. It just makes shit really noisy. I don't know. Anyways, these are all the signature sets. And now let's go real quickly. Sorry, folks. This is not entirely meant to be like a big advertisement for EMG, but we like to look through things. And when somebody sends us something, I like to go and make sure that we show a nice return on investment. There's the H, H1, H2. These are all the H series. I wonder what would pair with it best. I'm curious. I haven't looked it up. I should probably just ask AI. It'll tell me, but I don't want. I'm late. I'm feeling lazy. All right, let's check out the Solidus here. We're gonna get some sweet tones. My very favorite impulse response is already dialed, is already firmly in place here. I don't have to worry about that. I know how to dial this in my sleep. It sounds so good. It sounds so good. And this looks familiar, doesn't it? Does that not look a little bit familiar to y'all? Kind of looks like the sword, doesn't it? That's a little bit too boosterific. I'd chill you the F out, bro. No, I'm just going to turn it off. Yeah, this will get it done for you. This is the Audio-ordi VS8100 based on the, very obviously based on the Marshall valve state. And that amp goes way back, and I would imagine at some point in his life, I'll bet you Alexi, this was probably one of his first amps. If I'm just going to go ahead and guess, I'll bet you at some point in his life as a guitar player, if even in his younger days, I can almost assure that he was either a fan of or owned this amp, because it gets that very similar sound. And when paired with like a hotter pickup back in those days, he didn't really need a distortion pedal. He does not use a distortion pedal. He's a big fan of Death and Chuck Schuldiner, as far as I understand. And that, again, it's more association with this amp. Something tells me at some point in time, he either owned or used it, maybe even in the studio. Who knows? The list of bands that have used the Marshall valve state in the studio is quite large. Oops. Some bad strumming there. Sorry. Sounding pretty good. That's sounding pretty good. So again, we get through another option and another option and another option. Mercurial U530, the Solidus VS8100. I don't know that we had a ton of luck with this one here, but we could give it one more shot before we give it a... It'll work in a pinch for certain. I'm not sure how long Alexi used the JVM for, and with a little bit of dialing, it might be definitely possible, but unfortunately with the one knob series, you can't really do any dialing, which is kind of a bummer in my opinion in some cases, because in some cases you'll use a one knob plugin and be like, it's almost there, just give me access to the presence knob, or just the gain knobs or something else, but they give you the gain knob. But nonetheless, you see what I'm after here. Yes? All right, cool. This one didn't give it a whole lot. Didn't really need to. You guys know from past experience, this thing is a crusher. Let's go and just do a couple more. And you can throw all kinds of pedals out in front, although it does have its own little pedal section here, gate and everything else. This is a wonderful plugin with what I'm going to guarantee you is going to be the closest you will ever hear to a valve state in a plugin, and it gives you a lot more than that. It's one of the closest replica one-to-one replica type situations that you'll get to in plugin land. It's one of the best, always has been. Check this thing out. Luca Capozzi, of course, is the second, well, I'm not going to call it second, part of the partnership that is Polychrome DSP with Thomas Procklin. So you're getting quality at both of those companies, whichever you choose. They haven't done anything guitar related in a while at Audio-ordi. If you want them to, you should send Luca an email, as he is pointing most of his guitar time towards Polychrome DSP. But many of us out here feel that Luca is due for doing one of his own amps. It's been too long, sir. It's been too long. You gotta give us another guitar amp in the Solidus series. And if you're talking to Luca, let him know that we were talking about him right here. Send him a message, because he needs to hear that for sure. All right, folks, I am out of here. This has been a lot of fun, and it gives me it's fun to do it in the morning. So I think that's going to be a thing. If there is, or rather, if there are streams on the weekends, they're probably going to happen around 10 a.m. because that is a time where I do have extra time often. So I will talk to you guys again sometime soon. Probably not till, it might be not be till next Friday or maybe midweek. I've got a ton of stuff, a whole bunch of releases coming up. So after work, after my day job closes, my free time has been for work, sadly. But you know what? It's all for the greater good. All right, folks. So thank you for being here. May he rest in peace. Alexi Laiho. May he rest in peace. It's a bummer that with another amazing talent that we lost way too soon. Way too soon. But some flames were just, I suppose some flames were just meant to burn hard and burn out a bit early and leave what is one hell of a musical legacy, and whether it's and an impact as well, whether it's on tone in the span of like, or in the sense of like his pickups and all the different gear that he's used that inspired other users to sound the same or go in that same similar direction. Or whether it be his songwriting, or whether it be just like for me, when I listen to to Van Halen, I only hear his Van Halen's playing. I don't really pay attention to anything else. And I know there are some people like that with Children of Bodom as well, that just listen to his playing. They're not as big a fan of the band, but they're playing his playing influenced so many different people, whether they were fans of the band or not, is what I was kind of trying to go at that. And if you're out there and you want to sound more like Alexi Laiho, this pickup will get you closer. It just factually, that's in my opinion, pickups don't always matter when it comes to signature tones, but this one do. Okay, so check it out. I don't know where the royalties go. It must go to his estate and his loved ones. So I'm assuming that you're buying something that is still going to go towards, where royalties are still going to go towards his loved ones or could be his friends. I'm not sure who holds his estate in that sense, but nonetheless, you're buying, and like every signature artist, you're helping, especially more now than ever, you're helping those artists stay on the road by buying signature products. You're helping them continue to do what they do, as we all know, album sales do not just take care of it. Signature products are no longer just on the side. These are now a real revenue stream that helps artists stay out on tour, stay creating awesome tunes and everything else. Or in this case, maybe going to their loved ones and maybe even bandmates. I'm not sure. So everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful football weekend. If you're watching football, if you don't like football, that's cool. Just go eat some cool food and snacks, maybe do some gaming. And I will talk to you guys next. Wait, I want to make sure I get all the comments here first. Yes, he was playing with all the bands at the gig. My first amp was a Marshall MG15, so that amp sounds like my first love. Nice. You got to go and buy that. Do you own that plugin, Ton? Alexis, that's the other thing about this plugin. You don't have to use it with the awful cabinet that came with the original Valve State. That piece of garbage. Worst cabinet ever. Ever. Garbage sounding cabinet. Nice speakers in it. No idea what the fuck happened. There's a reason they called him the Wild Child. His wife, sister, parents, and their family. Nice. So if you're buying Alexi products, and he has a few signature products out there, that's where your money goes. It doesn't just go into the pocket of an artist or anything like that. It goes right to his family and everything else. That's just pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. So make sure you check this pickup out. Thank you so much to Tommy at EMG once again. Thank you to the entire team here at the AmpSim Universe. Thanks to Bo for always being here and being the great info guy that I need in the streams. Thanks for everyone for showing up, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Cheers.